Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers. Welcome to your Timeless Chakra Reading. I am your reader, Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. Not bad, it's just my initials. My mom named me. I'm a professional witch, a professional intuitive, the president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, author of 2 different books with a 3rd one in process. First one's called Spell Ingredients from a Professional Witch. Second one is called Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. Words of Grace does have a Kindle version and a link in the description box. If you click it, you can preview the first chunk of it for free, including the table of contents, which is primarily in chakra chapters. It's a chakra reading? Deepak Chopra reading? No, it's a chakra reading. You might find it helpful. The original version of Words of Grace that we had to pare down big time for Kindle is a visual Fellini Film Fest, and you can find it over on our digital shop in patreon.com/drawingthecircle, along with the only place to find Spell Ingredients, my first book. We've got audios for sale, we've got videos for sale, and of course the ebooks are there. Anyone can shop in the store at any time with or without being a subscriber. Some of my patrons get those ebooks, audios, and videos as part of their subscription package. In fact, God Got Us, our top tier, gets everything available. But the majority of my subscribers get 3 benefits in common. They get a daily check-in. I send them an unlisted YouTube live stream link pretty much every single morning. Did this morning, it was great. We chat about the day's astrological weather, the magical applications, the spiritual implications, always ending with a prayer, a blessing, a little something, send us on our way. Wisest way for me to start the day, considering what I do for a living. They also get all of the extended readings, the part 2s to the part 1s here on YouTube. All of them are timeless. All of them are relationship-based, my extended readings, soulmates, twin flames, true love, all of that stuff. As well as they get a significant discount when it's time to book me for a private session, spiritual counseling, reading, sometimes both, what we call a half and half. And we'll talk about that at the end of the video if you want more information about that in general. And you can follow us for free, making more and more exclusive as well as advanced content for the free followers. We got a lot of them and I love it. I keep getting more, it seems, every week. As well as you can 7-day free trial us on patreon.com/drawingthecircle as a seeker or a human. Our first 2 levels of subscription, jump out the last day if you like, but if you want the discount, you got to stay for at least a month and book me within that month. It's easy enough to do. Again, we'll talk about that at the end. And I love it. Best thing I ever done. Go check out our shop. Go click the menu and come Patreon on Patreon. Because I am the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons. But you can just call me Mal, because it's my nickname, not yours, unless it is, in which I sympathize. Shall we? Let's do some explanation for the new crab cakes, our lovely Cancerians and their cross-watchers. Then we will jump into the divination. If you've heard it all before, feel free to jump ahead. Hi, Cancerians and cross-watchers. We are doing 5 cards for a chakra reading. I have done these in a much larger, with 1 card for each chakra and oracles and stuff like that. But we're keeping them simple for this timeless quickie version. So, because of the work of Caroline Myss, MYSS, PhD, author of Anatomy of the Spirit, which is where I learned about the 8 chakra system, brilliant work there. These are her archetype cards based on her work in sacred contracts, life-changing work for me, for sure. So we're going to get 1 of these archetype cards for the 8th chakra that acts like a satellite, sending down the codes to all the other chakras, shifting our electromagnetic dynamics in each chakra, shifting what we attract and what we repel, whether we are aware of it or not. So we'll talk about the spiritual alchemy and all of that led to gold when that 1 hits the table. The next 4 chakras down, the crown, the 3rd eye, the throat, and the heart, the internal feminine energy. We will be using Daughters of the Moon Tarot. For the lower 3 chakras, solar plexus, sacrum, and root chakras, we will be using the mythic tarot, the masculine dynamic, the yang dynamic, looking at yourself from the outside, you from the inside, looking out at people, places, and things, relationships in the physical world. Those will take care of the 8 chakras, and we will get a Whisper of Love Oracle from Angela Hartfield, consecrated, dedicated this deck to the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension above, 8th chakra and above, so maybe not just the Cancerian and the Crosswatcher, but anybody else who might be involved. And we will end with a Matt Kahn healing mantra, because this is about healing. Healing your body, your mind, your emotions, your spiritual wounds. We all got those too, apparently. Finances, any of it could be in a general read. And these mantras work if you work them. So, that's the explanation. Let's get down to the divination. The shift from explanation to divination happens repeatedly in these readings, and what's called the still point. So, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. And I promise I will help anybody bring themselves into alignment to heal in any way possible, particularly with chakras, because as one of us heals, all of us heal, because there's only one of us incarnate. I know it doesn't look that way, but that's how the quantum, wantum, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff works. So, that's enough explanation. Let's do the divination. Let's get into the still point, shall we? Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Pantheonic override. Place for everything, and everything in its place. Put all where it belongs in time and space, for the well-being of all, with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. Beloved pantheons of the divine, one card in clarity for the 8th chakra dynamic. What is the soul power, the healing, the alchemy for the Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and their cross watchers to alchemize their shadow to light, their lead to gold, their pain to peace, their toxicity to health, shifting from fear to love, from illusion to truth in this timeless chakra read. This one. Ooh, the eternal child. All right. The child archetype is a survival family archetype. Not everyone has the eternal child. There are sub-archetypes within it, sub-patterns, if you like. Everybody has the child, the victim, the saboteur, and the prostitute. Sacred Contracts, tons of videos by Caroline Mace on YouTube that you can go deeper into that. Written on the card is the shadow attribute and the light attribute. I call this lead, this gold, 3 atoms in between lead and gold, lead being heavier than gold. Those atoms cannot be created or destroyed, only changed, transformed, transmuted, forgiven, released, whatever you want to call it. Surrender, Dorothy. So let me read you what's on here. The lead, inability to grow up and be responsible, extreme dependency on others for physical security. Now, I'll be honest, the eternal child ain't new on the planet. It's Peter Pan, if you want to look at a story. All archetypes are about stories, and all stories are about archetypes. The light you are shooting for, determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. Now, like I said, everybody has the child archetype, regardless of sub-pattern. You could be dealing with this within yourself. You could be dealing with somebody who's doing the eternal child thing. But regardless of the sub-pattern, the child archetype is the guardian of safety and innocence, right? When a kid feels safe, right, it sees things with fresh eyes. But if the kid doesn't feel safe, it doesn't matter where you bring them, right? They're going to cower. They're not, right? They're going to kind of grip in that way. So the eternal child, very, very powerful archetype on the planet still. And again, Peter Pan growing up. It was an issue, obviously. Bangarang! Let's get the next 4 chakras down, Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. My goddesses override. A place for everything, and everything in its place. But all where it belongs in time and space, for the well-being of all, with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. My beloved goddesses, one card in clarity for the Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video who are drawn to this reading. what's going on, heart, third eye, crown, internal, internal, for them to help them alchemize the eternal child in this timeless read. Good! 6 of Blades. The key word written on the card is manipulation, but it is a neutral word. As we see, this card really has no reverse. The 6 of Blades would be the 6 of Swords. Certainly a mental journey from choppy water to smooth, if you want to Rider-Waite Tarot the 6 of Swords into that. This is an important card because as a water sign, Cancerians, water is made up of air. So the journey of the 6 of Blades is about seeing things differently. It can even mean spin, right? Like political spin, you know, when they spin a story, to look at it from a different perspective. Now, it's not the Hanged Man yet. Well, you still got another tarot card to hit the table. But certainly this can be about balance. All the 6s are about harmony and balance. So a mental balance, seeing things differently. And keep in mind, the word manipulation really is neutral, right? It's like I had to shovel snow today. I now live in Saratoga where we get like a foot of snow once a week. And, you know, I took an Alka-Seltzer. Yeah, absolutely I did. It's not product placement. It's Bayer aspirin with, you know, bicarbonate of soda, or like bicar, right? Makes you burp, right? That's manipulation. Right? You say a prayer, you manipulate. You meditate, you manipulate, right? So, but this is definitely either third eye and or throat chakra, right? Are you going to express this? Is there going to be a conversation here? Regardless, the third eye and the throat seem dominant here. So let's look at the lower 3 chakras. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. My God's override. A place for everything, and everything in its place. But all where it belongs in time and space, for the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. My beloved gods, what's going on? Lower 3 chakras, outside in, inside out, relationships in the physical world. For the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and their cross-watchers watching this video drawn to this reading to help them alchemize the eternal child in the 8th with 6 of Blades on the inner for this timeless read. Oh, more air. All right, good. 4 of Swords here. This is Orestes from Euripides' play, The Eumenides. Eumenides, sounds like a tailor. It's a joke from Frasier. Good God Almighty, what my memory holds on to and what it doesn't. So this is a card of mental healing, right? Often about stillness, often about taking some time. If we're going to give that a chakra, I'm going to say solar plexus, right? Really introspection. So the 4, a stability. 4s are about stability, they then lead to the 5, but it seems like you're bypassing the 5 here with that 6 of Blades on the inner. So yeah, definitely what you're thinking and how you communicate it, or you choose not to, which is sometimes the right thing. Only you can know that. I mean, a general read, this is why I like private readings, is we can go into, well, what's the conversation, right? So definitely a time of rest and healing on the outer, maybe a lack of communication, but that doesn't mean that there isn't an internal process, right? Manipulation is a tricky word, but a massage is a manipulation, right? So keep that in mind. How you choose to do that will determine whether you're doing the lead or the gold, and it's okay to embrace the lead, the shadow, the fear, but as long as you're in a process of your intention really being, no, we're going to heal this, right? We're going to, particularly 4 of Swords, it's a card of rest, right? It is a card of oftentimes, maybe not so much meditation, but introspection. Yeah. All right, the chakras are on the table. Let's get the voices of the higher selves of all involved. Please take a nice deep breath. Higher selves override. Throat chakra. A place for everything and everything in its place. Put all where it belongs in time and space. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. beloved higher selves of all involved. Fifth dimension and above, eighth chakra and above. What is the whisper of love? The piece of information, inspiration, insight needed by the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and their cross watchers to alchemize their shadow to light, their lead to gold, shifting from pain to peace, from toxicity to health, from fear to love, to alchemize the eternal child in the eighth. Six of blades on the inner, four of swords on the outer for this timeless read. Forgiveness. Easier said than done. That's why I'm Course in Miracles student and teacher. Nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. And I'll give you a little insight to that. Disappointments are necessary because there is a higher thing going on, right? Expectations, right? Expectations are the seeds of disappointment, right? So when we don't get our way, what are we like when we don't get our way? Not great, right? The ego does that. It wants it. The only way that it can even imagine it's going to be happy in this world is if it gets what it wants. But then it gets what it wants, and then it wants something else, right? It's just like that, right? It's how it's rigged. It's how it's written. So what forgiveness needs to be done here? Now, we're all one, so even forgiving yourself moves you forward. I highly recommend, Return to Love, Marianne Williamson, Disappearance of the Universe, Gary Renard, anything Course in Miracles based. But if you're going to read the blue book, make sure you get it from the Foundation of Inner Peace. Just saying that whole, if they called it the Course in Forgiveness, nobody would read it, right? Brilliant work. I mean, written predominantly in iambic pentameter. It's a lot, but, pure non-dualism. There's only one of us. This is a dream. We're going to wake up from this dream, but first we have to awaken in the dream. And forgiveness is the alchemy that does that, right? So, nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments because there's always a higher truth. And so that means that everything that happens, Course in Miracles says this is happening for you, not to you. But an eternal child, depending on that lead to gold ratio, may not see it that way, or may see it that way. All right, one more down, last card down. Macon Healing Mantra. This is about healing, and I will say with the amount of air on the table, a mantra would be helpful, element of air. So let's see what the Ascended Masters have to say. Please take a nice deep breath. Last card. Ascended Master Override. A place for everything. And everything in its place. Put all where it belongs in time and space. For the well-being of all. And with harm to none. As we will it. So let it be done. Beloved Ascended Masters, what is the perfectly precise healing mantra to help the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and their cross watchers alchemize their shadow to light, their lead to gold, their pain to peace, shifting from toxicity to health, from fear to love, alchemizing the eternal child in the eighth, six of blades on the inner, four of blades on the outer, with forgiveness, no sense in holding on to the past. The past is over, it can touch me not, says A Course in Miracles. What you got for them for this timeless chakra read? Sharing shame. Sharing shame. When I share my deepest pain, I give myself permission to be. So I said, is there a conversation going on here? There's a kitty cat right outside that door who wants to come in. Few more minutes, baby. Sounds like Belsy. They have different meows. So I'm going to read this from the Bookie Book, but I will say this is the rite of confession, regardless of religious background. You can do this in prayer. You can do this to the divine directly. Do it to your higher self, to your inner child, right? Let that inner child express itself in that way, giving yourself permission to be as you are when you are, right? That is acceptance. That is love. So giving yourself permission to be is a pretty big deal, right? Just as you are. You're not going to be like that forever. Particularly if this is a mental thing. Oh, you found your way in. Hey, Bells, you a smart kitty cat. He's a Leo. He goes where he wants and does what he wants. He has no shame, and that's a good thing. I don't need shameful kitty cats. All right. When I share my deepest pain, I give myself permission to be. When shame is shared. Cycles of victimhood are permitted to heal as you find the courage to speak your truth. Since abuse and neglect can only be perpetuated in silence, it is your willingness to step forward and share your life's story that helps transform each wound and inspire others to be set free. That's the alchemy. And that eternal child can absolutely do that from such a place. I mean, think of the rejuvenation of just alchemizing shame, right? Of just releasing that. Guilt is I've done wrong. Shame is I am wrong or there's something wrong with me. And depending on when and where you were raised, right? Like my parents are boomers. I'm Generation X. So a lot of things were said to me as a kid. It's like, I'm so upset because you did that. Like no ownership of their own responsibility for their own psychological whoosy-whatses, right? Not so much my mom, but my dad definitely. God rest his soul. I'm sure he reincarnated. He's probably an ordinary Generation Z, Gemini that he was. So, that makes sense, right? It's like that child, we can be carrying that stuff and therefore rebelling out of not wanting to grow up and become like those who treated us like crap, even though they couldn't have played it out any other way. Once your shame is shared, you are able to honor yourself with the heightened encouragement, worthiness, and validation that you deserve to receive, right? But you got to give it to yourself first, right? That's why the forgiveness. I had a very, very wise woman say to me once, I said to her, well, all these things I want, I get so close and then they pull away. And she said, that's because you're dragging your dead elephant behind you. No, not literally, obviously. I love the aminals and I love elephants. But she was right? It was like that psychic weight, all of that stuff, and, got me into shadow work. This mantra is ideal for revisiting past traumas, eternal child, expressing your inner child, there we go, and finding self-acceptance, giving yourself permission to be. I mean, it really is a very, very powerful thing. Now, not the happiest Macon healing mantra in there. It's not demystifying darkness or processing grief, but sharing shame. Start with the divine. Light a candle, right? Rite of confession. Anatomy of the spirit. Caroline May's throat chakra, the sacred truth is surrender your will to the divine. And we can do that silently without anybody knowing, because I know you Cancerians are a little bit private. My mom's a Cancerian. What do you mean? No, everything's fine. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to put this together in a blessimation. It's a blessing and a summation, not to insult anybody's intelligence, but if you're new, now you know. Hey, Belzies, good boy. Softest kitty cat ever. And then we'll talk about cool stuff if you want to hang around for it, shall we? One last time, at least for this reading, please take a nice deep breath. Still point. May we end as we began. Pantheonic override. I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine. For the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and their cross-watchers who are watching this video and drawn to this reading, may they be blessed with all that they need to alchemize their shadow to light, their lead to gold, their pain to peace, shifting from toxicity to health, from fear to love, with the eternal child in the eighth, embracing their determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, with an ability to see things with fresh eyes. And those fresh eyes can certainly come with that Six of Blades, seeing things differently of their own free will. It is their choice to do so, and certainly taking the time out to step back with the Four of Swords there, contemplating, internally looking and inward driven, so that they can embrace the forgiveness that is their birthright, should they choose to accept it, because nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments, as they find the strength and the courage to share shame with the divine, with another, a therapist, a friend, a family member, what have you, because when they share their deepest pain, they give themselves permission to be. For a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser life, in a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser way, for a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser world, including the plants and the animals, for the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So let it be. And so it is. Yeah, very, very powerful read, right? And though obviously very mental in the tarot, certainly emotional with the Whisper of Love and the healing mantra. So if you found it helpful, hit the like button. The thumbs up shifts the algorithm, helps other Cancerians and cross-watchers find the reading. If you want more of me here on YouTube, subscribe, because I'm not stopping. I love doing this. This is really fun for me to do, even when the readings are rough, right? This is what I do for a living, and I do what I love, and I love what I do. But if you want the deeper dive, come Patreon on Patreon. We've got so much cool stuff going on over there. We got a bunch of crab cakes over there too, gotta say. So, a dear friend of mine, a massage therapist. Hey, sweetheart, I won't say her name on camera unless you give me permission to. I will so in the future. And yeah, you can follow us for free. You can 7-day free trial as a seeker or a human. You can shop in the store, and there are previews, 2-minute previews for the audios and the video content available in our digital shop if you want to check that out. But by all means, check the menu. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up in this new year ahead of me at the time of this timeless recording, particularly as the new book has been released. I just sent them a mock-up cover of the new book cover of what we might do. It's still in the planning stage. So yeah, click the link and check it out, and come Patreon on Patreon, because I am the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons. But you can just call me Mal, because it's my Patreon, not yours, but it can be ours if we play the game right. And if you want to book me for one of them, they're private sessions with or without the Patreonic discount. There is a video in the description box called Booking Private Sessions with Mal. I made it for the 25th anniversary. When I finally raised my prices, I need to redo it because I'm not changing my prices, but my situation has changed in the past year, moving from Long Island to Saratoga Springs. But the video does explain everything that you need to know about booking a private session with me, spiritual counseling, reading half and half, whether it's in person. My office is being set up to take clients here at the house eventually. I am available at the Magic Moon in Saratoga Springs, but you can contact them directly and they do the booking and all of that. I have certain times set aside to do that there. But the majority of the readings that I do nowadays are on video. We Zoom record it. So it's not just somebody, you know, taking a video and sending it to you. It is a conversation. I send the client the link. They jump into the Zoom. We record the whole thing as the cards hit the table. Then at the end of the reading, I send them a link so they can download the entire video so they don't have to take notes. And then they tell me they downloaded it and I delete it from my cloud on Zoom. And it's done. Total confidentiality. And that's what's also in that video. Vows of confidentiality are extremely important to me as a reader. Like, I don't share it. Like, I want to forget the reading after I've done it so only the client has that info. But the most important thing that I say in that video for sure is I've never turned anybody away because of lack of finances. Where there's a witch, there's a way. I'm a witch, there's a way. And we always work it out. And I love private session work. It is my mystical healing art, particularly spiritual counseling. I was a minister once. I know how terrifying, but it's true. I'm a pagan minister, a witch minister, but minister nonetheless, 501c3. God, I'm not doing that anymore, though. I am retired. So yeah, click the link. Check it out if you want to book me and book a private session with Mal, the Archangel of Lyons, but you could just call me Mal. Yeah, whatever. And what a very powerful read. You got that eternal child thing there. So innocence and safety first and foremost, but then, you know, see things with fresh eyes. And forgiveness does that. It's like shifting from leaded glasses to golden glasses, little by little by little. You can do this, and sharing your shame ain't easy. But if you want the confidentiality, really, spiritual counseling is my mystical healing art. So thank you so much for watching. I love you all. I love my crab cakes. I've always had a Cancerian in my life since birth. So wishing you all the very, very best and the very, very blessed with the chakra work here. I love you. You got this. You can do this. Heal, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.